Hello everybody, my name is Sin and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the first ever Green Lantern, Alan Scott. Alan Scott was a character who was created by Martin Nodell and Bill Finger, who first appeared in All American Comics number 16. When Alan Scott was created, he became popular enough to get his own series. Though, following World War II, the character's popularity declined, and soon his series would become cancelled. After 8 years, DC Comics decided to reinvent the character of Green Lantern into the character he's known for today and be renamed into Hal Jordan during the year 1959. DC later revealed that the character and stories of Alan Scott was set on a different Earth, dubbed Earth 2. Original, am I right? In subsequent stories, Alan Scott was a father to the superheroes of Jade and Obsidian. In the year 1985, DC had a company-wide reboot with the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths, where he then resided on the Prime Earth, but was a hero during the 1940s. In 2011, DC then had its second company-wide reboot with the event of Flashpoint, and relaunched all of their series under the umbrella of the New 52. The event had introduced a new multiverse, which brought back the universe of Earth 2, where it depicted all of its residents as younger characters. The same goes with Alan Scott. The origin of the Green Lantern had occurred in the year 1939, during which Alan Scott was riding a train when, out of nowhere, said train had crashed. In the wreckage from the crash, there were no survivors other than Alan. But still, Alan Scott was gravely injured. He crawled around the wreckage of the train trying to find a way out when he saw a bright green light. As he got closer to the light, he saw that it was a green lantern, which when he touched had healed all of his injuries. The lantern was a magical entity named the Starheart, which was once imprisoned by the Guardians of the Universe. At the lantern's mental direction, Alan had fashioned a ring from it that allowed him to use the power of the Starheart. Alan then used this power to become the superhero known as the Green Lantern. In the year 1940, Alan Scott had become a founding member of a team known as the Justice Society of America, or the JSA. The team had many adventures saving the world and America from great threats. The team then disbanded in 1951, as well as Alan Scott retiring in the same year due to governmental pressure. Later, the villain the Reaper had caused Alan to briefly come out of retirement to stop him. Before he could stop him, the Reaper had fled to Europe. During his retirement, Alan Scott had two children who would become the heroes, Jade and Obsidian, who would become founding members of the team Infinity, Inc. As Superman first arrived, and the creation of the JLA had happened, Alan Scott had once again returned from retirement, as well as the rest of the JSA, but this time, they didn't go back to retire. At least I don't think they did. Alan Scott, along with the rest of the JSA, had a bunch more great adventures fighting threats like Brainwave and saving the planet. In 2005 to 2006, the event called Infinite Crisis had occurred, and while I'm not going to talk in depth about the event itself, in the future I'll probably make a video about it, but I'm just going to go over the parts that include Alan Scott and the effects on him. In the event, Alan's daughter Jade would die when Alexander Luthor of Earth 3 was defeated. Alan Scott and the other heroes were sent through space and time and had re-emerged a week later on Earth, where he had found out about what happened. After being put in a comatose-like state by the Gentleman Ghost, Alan had met with Jade, where they both had said their final goodbyes to each other. After Infinite Crisis, Alan was approached by the spy organization, Checkmate, where they offered him to become their White King. He accepted, but soon, shortly after, he had left. Alan Scott then restarted the JSA years later with Jay Garrick, the OG Flash, and Ted Grant, the OG Wildcat, after being urged by the JLA. The team had included newer superheroes, a younger generation. Dubbed Blackest Night happened, where Alan Scott, along with the rest of the new JSA, battled undead versions of previous JSA members. They then defeated the Black Lanterns within all of New York, and after the event, his dead daughter Jade had come back from the dead due to the powers of the White Lanterns. This day, the magical entity known as the Starheart comes to Earth to destroy it. Alan Scott then becomes mind-controlled by the Starheart, as it is the source of his powers. He then flies to the moon, where he builds a gigantic emerald city and prepares to destroy Earth, but before he can do so, the JSA alongside Jade arrives, where she then uses her powers to fix his mind. And when Alan was fixed, he decided to keep the Emerald City that he created on the moon. After Brightest Day, Alan and the JSA traveled to Monument Peak in order to stop a superpowered terrorist named Scythe. Before being defeated, she snapped Alan Scott's neck. Later, it was revealed that the injuries Alan had received left him paralyzed, and that any attempt to heal him could break his constant concentration, which could result in the Starheart regaining control of his body and making him go insane and evil. He then used his powers in order to stop a fallen god called Darken by using the full power of the Starheart. In order to defeat Darken, Alan Scott had died, and any trace of his body was gone. The JSA had to bury an empty coffin. Then, in the year 2011, Jeff Johns created another event named Flashpoint, where everything that happened in the decades prior was wiped off, and DC had rebooted everything. The new DC universe was called the New 52, but 10 years later, everything is fully fixed in the year 2020 during the Anti-Crisis event Dark Knight's Death Metal by Scott Snyder. Alan Scott was brought back from the dead and joined the new multiversal team called The Totality, and is now an important character within the 2021 DC summer event named Infinite Frontier. But now, I'm going to be talking about the New 52 Alan Scott, so keep the rest of the information I told you in the other side of the brain, and let's get into the New 52's Alan Scott from the series Earth 2. In the New 52 series, Earth 2, Earth's greatest heroes have died in order to stop Darkseid's invasion. The character deaths include Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. 5 years later, Alan Scott goes onto a train ride, but this time, before it crashes, he's about to propose to his boyfriend, Samuel Zhao. Or Zhao. I don't know. Comment down below to tell me. But before he can do so, it crashes. Alan Scott, now gravely injured and almost dead, walks around searching for his boyfriend, but then encounters a green flame, which is basically the Earth's consciousness. The flame then tells him that a great threat is coming and the age for heroes must come again. It also informs him that his boyfriend had died. He then becomes the Green Lantern, Earth's greatest hero. He is then told by the Green that he needs to get to Washington, D.C., where the greatest champion, Solomon Grundy, is killing the Earth. When he gets there, he meets up with the other wonders of this new age, the Flash and Hawkgirl, and he also meets the World Army and their champion, the Atom. He then stops Solomon Grundy by taking him to the moon, but when he does, he loses his powers as his connection to the Green has faded. As he's falling back to the Earth, he's about to die, he accepts it, but then Hawkgirl saves his life. On the ground, he then saves the Earth by using his powers. In the following weeks, he then learns more about his boyfriend's death and that the train crash had not been targeted for his boyfriend. Steppenwolf then comes out of nowhere and announces that he's alive and he's here to take over the world. So, Alan Scott, along with the other Wonders, and now Dr. Fate, then attacks Steppenwolf and his army, but loses and dies after an evil Superman comes back and beats the living hell out of him. But don't worry, he comes back half an arc later and stops the planet Earth from entering a gigantic boom tube, which would have taken Earth to Apocalypse. The other Wonders then shut down the boom tube, which stops the Earth from entering the portal. He then comes back to help Val-Zod to stop the evil Superman, who's really just the Earth 2 version of Bizarro. All of them seemingly save the day from the last of Apocalypse forces. But soon after, all forces of Darkseid's army comes, as well as the Apocalypse versions of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Apocalypse's forces were relentless to take the Earth and use it as power in order to save Apocalypse from dying. So they keep attacking Earth too. But when they think they've stopped all of Darkseid's forces, he comes himself and defeats the heroes of Earth 2 in an instant. But soon Alan Scott comes and uses the power of the green from around the multiverse and stops Darkseid from destroying the people of Earth 2 who are trying to flee from the planet and go into space. But he only stops Darkseid for a second, who then defeats Alan Scott, and right before he's about to kill him and the rest of the heroes on Earth 2, they're all teleported away onto another planet, where they play a major part in DC's 2015 Crisis event called Convergence. It is absolutely dog water. But I'm not gonna talk about that. I might do another video, and I'm just gonna skip over all of that, so yeah. But at the end of the event, they now have a new planet, the planet's now theirs, and Alan Scott's made it all green and lush, and now they have a new Earth too after their planet was previously destroyed. Alan then sends a beacon throughout space in order to call the last of the human civilization to their new planet. And that, for me, is where the story ends. There's another sequel series called Earth 2 Society, but that, at the end of it, basically retcons everything that happens. I'm pretty sure it's been a while since I've read that. I did not like it. The characters are completely different. They don't even use characters that were set up in the previous series, Earth 2, so I don't recommend me reading that. If you guys want to, you can. So that is the history of Alan Scott. If you like it, please comment down below and tell me. And as 0% of you are subscribed, hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to turn it on. I don't know how the hell to do this. Hope you had a great time listening. I don't know when the next video will be up. Thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, bye-bye! Okay, hello, this is future me reporting. When I was editing this video, I forgot to say some recommended reading that I think if you want to read about Alan Scott, you should probably read. So, the ones that I'm thinking you guys should read is definitely Earth 2. Earth 2's Earth 2 Volume 1 to 5, and Earth 2 Worlds and Volume 1 and 2, and Convergence, that whole trade paperback. I don't know, I probably shouldn't read that, just look at Comic Story and they got a good video on that. And also, and if you want some non-New 52 Alan Scott, a great reading is the JLA by Jeff Johns, the New 52 run. I'm just going to put more on the screen, and until next time, bye-bye! Official. Okay, yeah, bye-bye.